Cheers.
Hey man, you thirsty? Oh, geez, Brandon, are you alright? I didn't think I'd hit you that hard. What the hell? Oh! What? What the hell was that? What the hell did you just... Where'd you come from? You did... Then you're God.
Jumanji?
What? Okay. So, welcome to the jungle. Jumanji 3.
Welcome to the jungle.
For those that don't know, Zathura is Jumanji 2. That is unofficial, but we're stating it here that that is fact. That's continuity. I really wanted to give this a fair shot.
Yeah.
I really, really did. I went in with an open mind. I don't know about you. I think you did too.
Can I just say something on that?
Yeah.
I wanted to go in giving this a fair shot. This movie made up my childhood, man. Like,
Jumanji was it.
This was one of the movies that, like, it kind of pushed the boundaries as far as what a movie can do. And I loved every minute of it. Like, I love the imagination from Robin Williams. Robin Williams, rest in peace. But I love the energy. I love the story. I love everything about this game because
you made plants terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. This game, that leads me to my next point beautifully. There was so much mystery about this game. There was so much mystery about where it came from, like
and everything
why
we learned about it only added to that mystery.
Absolutely. So this really made my childhood. Like, this is one of my favorite movies, and I kind of have the same problem that I have with this movie that I have with, say, a Resident Evil.
Ooh.
And what I mean by that is just because you call something Resident Evil, you can't slap a sticker on it and make it Resident Evil.
Doesn't necessarily mean it is.
It doesn't mean it is. And this is kind of the same thing. Like, cast-wise, amazing cast. We have Kevin Hart. We have
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Karen
Gillan and Jack Black.
And Jack freaking Black. And last but not least, can we say Jack Black? Because...
Yes, no, certainly not least. That man is an absolute treasure.
Oh, yeah.
He plays a 16-year-old high school student. High school girl. Who's self-absorbed and never puts her phone down. And he channels all of that energy into this performance so beautifully, so perfectly. And that seems like a weird point to make. But when everything around it feels almost lazy to a point, and you see these actors putting so much effort in, and then you see Jack Black's goofy ass come out, and he's just like, "Did somebody see my phone?"
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It just puts a smile on my face every time he's in any scene in this film.
Yeah.
And that just highlights some of the character development issues that this movie kind of faced in terms of writing. I mean, there was a lot of heavy-handed, both symbolism as well as just blatantly just telling us character traits about these people, like the fact that Spencer's afraid of everything.
Yeah.
I think the only one that gets shown, the fact that Fridge is dumb, the only thing that gets shown directly to us instead of told is Bethany being about herself.
Yeah, just being totally about herself, yes. There were a lot of heavy-handed things going on. The acting was good, like you said. They had a compelling villain in this movie, and he had so much going for him.
Oh, he had the coolest powers I think I've almost seen in many movies.
He controlled every single animal.
Possessed them, too.
Possessed them, yeah.
Like a warg in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like, he can see through their eyes, he can control them, he can spit scorpions out of his mouth.
Yeah. Freaking awesome. And there wasn't that much there. And as far as the heavy-handedness, there was a lot of force-fed dialogue. Look, let me say this. We've discussed Ghostbusters, we've discussed Venom, and now this movie.
And Bird Box.
And Bird Box. But Bird Box doesn't fall into this because Bird Box was a completely original idea that was done and implemented well.
Okay.
This movie, much like Venom, shows that in Hollywood they aren't willing to take many chances anymore. Okay, case in point, Venom was a fully rated R movie. And I'm sure that at some point they had to fight for that R rating.
Yeah.
They didn't have to fight as hard because of the success of Deadpool, but I'm sure that they had to fight for that R rating, and they did not push it.
It's Sony.
They did not push that R rating. It did not earn that R rating.
No, it was just there to be there.
And the same thing kind of happens here. The same thing kind of happens with Jumanji and its name.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to talk about that with the very land of Jumanji now, and we're going to talk about that with this film.
I mean, the land, I think, is one thing that they did all right. I mean, but it didn't follow any of the rules of Jumanji, the jungle that we know.
Yeah.
It didn't really push our expectations of what those meant. It didn't really explore too much. And, I mean, they kind of changed the entire thing, really. It went from a terrifying, dense, like, Amazonian jungle filled with man-eating plants, lions, zebras, tigers, panthers,
spiders the sizes of dogs.
That's terrifying enough for me. Mosquitoes that are bird-sized, I think.
That was a part in the original Jumanji. And yes, we are talking about the original Jumanji because they threw in a lot of references from the original movie.
The main villain's last name is Van Pelt.
Van Pelt, who was the main villain in Jumanji 1. And not only that, but Alex, the kid that was stuck in the game for a very long time, he's in Alan Parrish's tree house.
Yep.
So, yeah, so
clearly it's the same Jumanji jungle.
Clearly. And seeing as how they're doing that, we have to reference the original movies. Now, you just said that it is not the desolate, scary jungle with all those things in it. Even as a child, Robin Williams said a line in that movie, and it made my skin crawl in the best way possible. Little Peter is using reverse psychology on Robin Williams, and he says to him, "It's okay, you don't have to play the game. We know that you're afraid. It's fine."
Yeah.
And then Robin Williams says this line. He says, afraid, you don't know what fear is. I've seen things that you've only seen in your nightmares.
Things you can't see.
Things you can't even imagine. I've been in a situation where there's something hunting in the night, you hear something scream, you hear something else eat, and you pray to God that you're not next. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. So he's laid out the foundation. Okay, in this place, there are things that you've only seen in your nightmares.
Yep.
There's things that you can't even see. That's terrifying. For somebody to tell you that they've been there, and now that you're thrust in that situation.
And we see those things come into our world.
Exactly.
As well. We see the man-eating plants. We see the lions. We get a stampede of rhinos.
Yeah.
Pelicans, monkeys, spiders. We get the mosquitoes. We get all kinds of horrifying creatures.
The power of a vivid imagination, and we did not get that.
No.
And
we got Mad Max style villains.
Right.
We got a villain with one of the coolest power sets.
One of the coolest powers
of any villain recently, who does nothing but send more motorcycle riding villains to chase and hunt down the main characters. And he's somehow related to the Great Game Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, it just in name, but not in attribute, because...
In reference.
In reference.
Not even in name. Because I don't believe that his name is Sir Useless Spider Scorpion Chewer.
And that's the thing. It's kind of sad because we have this villain who he only comes around after his henchmen have failed to kill them. Yep. And he comes around at the last minute in the movie. And mind you, we aren't saying these things because we're just going to do an X amount of minute video ragging on this movie. We want to talk about what could have made these things better. So, Josh, I'm going to ask you, what could have made the villain better?
Okay. So they tell us explicitly in the very beginning of the film that he possesses every creature in Jumanji when he steals the gem, right?
Right.
So eliminate all the henchmen. Maybe keep them around. Maybe keep the supply depot and keep them around there guarding that. I guess believe that. Sure.
Yeah, because it segues with the helicopter. Yeah, I respect that.
Use the forest against our main characters.
Yes.
Use more of the animals. You brought this up. When they get to the bazaar, they, it's really random how the villains find them.
Yeah.
It's super strange. It's odd. It doesn't feel like they actually knew where they were, and they just kind of show up.
Oh, hey, there they are.
Yep. Oh, look, we stumbled upon them. Oh, that's fortuitous, isn't it? Instead, you could keep the scene where the heroes are going through and then they have to pluck the fangs out of the snake.
Yeah.
And he can, see them through the eyes of the snake.
Yeah.
Pull the Wicked Witch of the West. She's looking through a crystal ball. She can see everything. Suspension of disbelief takes me out of it a little bit, but I believe it because you've already told me that his powers are this powerful.
Right.
Have him control the vines surrounding them. Where are sand pits?
Yeah.
That just have him do more.
Yeah, where's the
have him be president? Don't have president. Have him.
I'm the president of Jumanji.
Jesus Christ. Just have him be there and sending he opens up his sleeves and locusts fly out and chase them to the next level.
That would be awesome.
That's how I would have at least changed the villain.
Yeah.
It would have been great because you could have kept the campiness of the main characters that you already have.
Yeah.
And just have this super serious bad guy.
Yeah.
And that'd be great. That'd be fine because we'd get the contrast there. We'd get the campy heroes put in dangerous situations like they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be fighting for their lives here. And even if they get 3 lives, they're supposed to be fighting for their life here.
Yeah.
They can still die in Jumanji. That's still a thing. Doesn't feel like anybody takes that seriously until, they absolutely need to. But then 2 seconds later, they're bolstered with action hero strength, and they just, 1 life, that's all I need.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh yeah, brother. But they don't.
No.
They sink to the bottom like stones. Boring stones.
Yeah.
Not even rolling stones. How would you have changed
the last game?
What they're doing?
Yeah.
Why they're there?
Okay, well, here's my thing. I told you how I feel about the Robin Williams line. If this was up to me, I would have made the whole movie around that line. You feel the sense of dread. You feel the fear in his voice when he's reminiscing about this awful place. So what do I mean by that? Okay. Do you remember where they have the gym and then they are going through the area with the
quick point on the gem?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to cut you off.
Please.
Here, but that's another thing. You could have had them fight to get to the villain to retrieve the gem.
Yeah.
This is a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Fight to get the gem from the villain, and then have to fight their way through the jungle and what the villain sends after them. They get the gem at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the movie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and to go back to the point with the villain, like he controls all of these animals. He controls all these animals. How cool would it be if, like, at some point, like, okay, the part with the jaguars, jaguars. What if he turned into a jaguar himself?
Ooh.
What if he has the power of these animals that he can turn into
a lion?
What if he turned, and there's this whole thing where they're trying to escape and he's turning into all sorts of different animals.
Yeah.
Like,
you really could have done a lot with that.
You could have done a lot with that.
CGI budget would have been blown, but still.
I mean, they spent $100 million on the movie anyway.
True.
So, where would I have gone with this? There's a scene where they have the orb, the crystal gem, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're in, like, the last level is the most dark, desolate part of the jungle.
Oh, right. And then the torches kind of
the torches light the whole way, and it's not just like a couple of torches. Nah, they gotta walk a long way in this darkness. Mm-hmm. That was the only time I felt dread in this movie. Well, I take that back. There was a previous part where they met Alex, the kid that got lost in the game, for 20 years. There was a part where he was showing them how to navigate through this underground trap area, and he puts down a plank, and there's a pit full of crocodiles.
Oh yeah, horrible way to die.
Yeah, a horrible way to die, in his words. And then you look in that pit, and it's like, whoa, this is the darkest I've ever seen this movie. Because initially, when you get to Jumanji, it's this beautiful, vibrant place, and it's
bright colors all over the place.
Yeah, and it's like. There was a hippo at the very beginning, but there's parts where the teens are sitting down, they're talking to each other. You don't feel a sense of dread at all.
There's no stakes here.
There's no stakes. It feels like a vacation. Like, up until the henchmen come, the Mad Max henchmen come, it feels like a vacation for them. Yeah, they're trying to figure this whole thing out. But it doesn't feel as if there is any dread around every single turn.
Yeah. No, you could have thrown tropical storms in here. You could have had them get caught
in anything.
Any number of situations.
So the point that I'm making, the scene where there's thunder and lightning and it's dark in the jungle.
When Van Pelt takes the gem for the first time in the flashback cutscene.
Yes. Give me that scene at in the last act of the movie and just stretch it out for the whole movie. I want the whole movie for them to be like, hey, if I move this leaf, I don't know what's behind it.
Yep.
What was that sound?
Yep.
Can I trust these people around me if something goes down? I only have one life left.
But Brandon, it's a video game.
But so was Tomb Raider. So was Uncharted. So was like freaking Gears of War, where you had these situations where your surrounding is your
wake.
Yeah, like where
your writings are coming to life and
your surrounding is your biggest enemy.
Yeah.
Like. That it was a total missed opportunity. So that's what I would have done. And we're getting away from the family market or whatever, blah blah blah. You let your kids play Call of Duty and stuff and see R-rated movies anywhere. And push it.
The first Jumanji was a children's movie.
And it pushed it, and it was extremely dark.
I think that was still rated PG.
It was still a PG rated movie.
Yeah. Now granted, the ESRB for movies, the rating system for movies was a little different.
Yeah.
Back then in '95.
Yeah.
But I mean,
bro,
like, still a family-friendly movie because you still have a nice message at the end of it, and you can still do that. You can still have these horrible characters realizing their fullest potential by the end and coming together through teamwork and perseverance. But you can do it with darker undertones. It doesn't have to be happy comedy. It can still be funny. You can keep the comedic aspects. I think that's fine, but you've got to make it serious. You have to make it feel like there's only comedy for the sake of them not going insane.
Yeah. The dark nature of the original film, it was done with such class. So for instance, you have the mosquitoes that got out, and one of the mosquitoes got in the realtor that got them in the house in the first place. One of them got in a car, and they had to have an ambulance come up because this woman had been sucked dry. It was heavily implied. It didn't take to show a scene where the mosquito gets in and you could see it like draining this woman's life force. It didn't have to. It was cleverly done. Why? Because it's a movie that kids are going to see.
Yes.
So
But you can still make it adult in that manner.
Right. I mean,
you can still have implications.
The freaking crocodile, man.
Yeah.
The freaking crocodile in the first movie. The man eating plants. And like the spider scene. Okay, yeah, the spiders, they didn't look like the most realistic things at all. But there was a sense of when Alan was stuck in the floorboards and the spider was coming to him.
Yep.
Bro.
So, do you think we're looking at these films?
Hey guys, so we didn't really have a proper outro filmed for Jumanji here, and that's a little weird, so I just wanted to give you this quick update. So right after we shot this, I actually took a quick vacation, and I was gone for a good week and a half, and got back, immediately got into editing, and then I realized, oh, we don't have an outro film. So that's kind of what this is. It's just going to be quick. I just wanted to thank you guys for your continued support. Hopefully, you're sharing this around and just getting other people that you think might be interested in it. That'd be awesome. But if not, that's cool too. If you can give us any kind of rating, like a dislike, just tell us your thoughts. Tell us what you think worked, what didn't work, what we should improve on in the future. That'd help a lot. And at the very least, just keep watching. Thanks so much. This is Curbstone Savant Josh, signing off.